After 18 years of working for Terra Nova Corporation in Miami, I was running a company with over 100 people. And for 18 years, that was my responsibility, was that team. That was my family, those were my kids. I waited until I was 40 to have my first son. And then I adopted my second son when I was 44. So, I waited a long time. I wasn't sure I was going to be a mom. Now, transition to me being a mom and having this little human being in my world and in my responsibility. When he turned 1, my ex-husband and I got divorced. So my world became very much smaller immediately, and I was the sole parent almost full-time for this little human being. And it became increasingly difficult to stay at the office after 6:30, 7 o'clock. Even though the team, my original kids, my original family still needed me, the pull and the draw to get home, became increasingly a priority. Probably the turning point with me making a decision to leave the corporate environment was a Halloween party. My son was 3 and he was in a preschool a couple days a week. And I needed to pick him up or actually join him as the other parents did at a Halloween party. And I was late. And as I was running up in my business suit and my heels, click, 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 click down the sidewalk, as I'm approaching the daycare or the preschool, there's my son standing, all 2'4" of him, at the glass door with his hands on the glass door, looking out the window for me, waiting for me. And when I got there, he was so happy to see me, and he was the last kid there. I was the last mom to come pick up, and I missed the party. And that was the turning point, because that just broke my heart. And even though he never remembers that to this day, I remember it to this day. And I counsel women that are working moms that it's so hard when you're being pulled in a bunch of different directions. But that was just a feeling that I never wanted repeated again. I never wanted to be the last mom, and I never wanted to miss the party. I can't even imagine today what was so important that I left the office late to miss that, but that was the turning point. My mom was a hard-charging, workaholic, worrywart. I'm glad I didn't get her worrywartness about, because that's just, I'm the glass half full girl, but I absolutely got her work ethic. And I thank her for that, because it bode me well in my career. And certainly if I had not worked the amount that I did in the 15 years prior to having my children, I wouldn't have the resources and the lifestyle that we have today if I hadn't worked my butt off in those years when I did not have children. My best advice for moms today that are struggling with the whole business mom thing is try to find an environment that is open and flexible and understanding that you are a mom. Because if you're a great employee, they're gonna wanna keep you around. And if that means giving you the freedom to go to the Halloween party at school or go on the field trip, smart employers should be willing to be flexible and work around that. And I know that there are companies around that have that flexibility. So I think it's important that if you're in a situation where the people are not flexible and you're having a hard time sleeping at night because of you're straddling the two worlds, start looking around, start doing some research and finding companies that are more suited to your current situation. Save money, because I wouldn't have been able to take the leap I did had I not had sufficient resources in the bank to do so, because when I took the leap and left, I did not go to another job. I had not thought about starting my own company. I just knew I had to go be a better mom than I was being. So I think that if you are starting to have those feelings in your gut, it's time for you and your partner to start putting money away so you have the freedom to make decisions that are better for your family than how you're feeling today. Happy Mother's Day to women that work and are a mom, and work in the home, which is the toughest job. You know, people call me a lot and say, you know, how is it, you know, what's the trick about being a leasing director? You know, I have a team of leasing agents, and I say, are you a parent? And sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. And I said, you know, being a parent, today, whatever works with you and your child is not going to work tomorrow and didn't work yesterday. That's the same thing when you're a leasing director. Each person on your team is an individual, just like your children. And be ready for the ride, because again, what worked today is not going to work tomorrow. And if you're not trying to have fun with it and be happy and look at the glass half full, you know, how blessed are we that we have children and that we have people that work for us that look up to us. So happy Mother's Day. Thank God there's a day for us, because my kids always say, well, when's the kids' day? I go, every day is the kids' day. So happy Mother's Day. I hope you have a wonderful day.